If you want to achieve success, you're gonna have to pay the price. And it won't be cheap. It'll be tireless nights, long days, empty bank accounts, pressing thoughts, isolation, loneliness, tribulation, heartaches, headaches, and a lot of pain. But on the other side of pain is pleasure. On the other side of pain is success. The journey becomes more enjoyable because you understand that in due time you will sow, and in due time you will reap. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Someone once told me that the best math you can do is learn how to calculate the future cost of your current decisions. And that right there, that changed me.
It's the best advice you can give a young man so he can be good, have a successful life. He said, you got to remember, in every person you meet, there's a little piece of God in them, and that's who you talk to. And I added to that, but make sure they see it in you first. Wow. So that's what my life principle is about. Make way for life. Please make way for life. Find the peace of God in you and show it.
This is gonna sting a little for some people, because I know it did for me. But listen, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes the sacrifice.
Never accept a position where you have the responsibility, but you don't have the authority.
If you're gonna work. If you're gonna chill, then chill. You don't want to be a dim light that's half on. You want to do one or the other. Now, I find chilling and relaxing, I guess this is my personality, makes it extremely stressful. So there's nothing more stressful for me than trying to not do my work. Because if I'm not doing my work, then I'm thinking about the work I'm supposed to do, and I'm more stressed than doing the work. So everyone goes, Andrew, you need to just chill. I mean, that sounds terrible. That sounds like the most stressful situation to be in. So all I want to do is work.
Why do you say you would die for your kids? But would you live for them? Would you train for them? Would you diet for them? Would you work on your mindset and heal your trauma so you don't pour into them and hurt them in the future? It's time to wake up. Use your kids as your reason to change, not your excuse to stay the same.
Why do you listen when your boss tells you to do something, but you couldn't care less when you tell yourself to do something? Why do you have an alarm set to get to work on time, but there's no alarm to show up for yourself on time? You know, there's obvious consequences when you don't do what you're supposed to at your job. But how do you not see the consequences of poor self-respect? Tell yourself to do things and do them. And listen because you said so. Nobody else. That is the key to overcoming yourself.
It's absolutely insane that if you sat in silence for 10 minutes every day with no stimulation, and then you stop using words poorly against yourself and stop judging everyone, including yourself, and then you wrote 5 things that you're grateful for every single morning after you woke up before touching your phone, and then you like walked outside for like 30 minutes every day, just got some fresh sun, fresh air, and then like read 1 page in a book and just filled your mind with positivity and new perspectives, your life would immediately get better, literally after the first day. And if you did that for 30 days straight, anxiety, gone, at least more manageable by far. Depression, non-existent. Happiness level skyrockets. It's really that easy.
You know what's crazy? You know you could be the one if you really wanted to, right? You know that, right? But see, you keep playing the what if game. What if it don't work out this? What if it don't work out that? But nigga, what if it do? What if it do work out? Then what? You gonna be happy, right? You can't say you want to win, but then you scared to lose. What kind of sense does that make? If you put your head down and lock in on the vision, how could you not win? Only thing that's gonna cause you to lose is your mentality. But that's between you and you, though.
Making the best move on the chessboard, regardless of how losing your position is a life philosophy that most will never understand. Sometimes you look at your position on the board and you're fucked, but still, there's always a best move and a worst move, no matter how bad things are. Many people, when they get to a losing position, think, it doesn't matter, I don't have to make the best move anymore. I actually disagree. Maybe 9 times out of 10, the best move won't save you, but that 1 time out of 10, the best move might be just enough to save your ass. And on a long enough time frame, if you play the game repeatedly, day after day, taking risks, always making the best move, regardless of whether you're winning or losing, it will compound into an upward spiral of never-ending success. You might end up somewhere near me. You might have dinner one day. You might stop being a brokey. You might stop being a loser. But you should make the best move on the board regardless. You should always think that way. What move will give me the best possible strategic position? That's how you think. That's how I think. Why does Tate do what he does? Tate does what he does because he trusts God to show him the best move on the board to enable him to build a position of resilience against the hordes of demons.
In theory, consistency sounds like discipline and determination. strong and unwavering. But in practice, consistency is about being adaptable. When time is tight, shrink the task. When energy is low, do the simpler version. It's not about being rigid. It's about finding ways to keep showing up no matter what. Your habits don't have to be fixed. They should evolve with your day. The key is not in doing the same thing over and over, but in never stopping, even when life gets in the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, keeps you on track. Adaptability isn't the opposite of consistency. It's the very heart of it. Consistency is the art of staying the course, no matter the obstacles.
I'm obsessed with being the best version of myself, and that's a daily thing. I'm obsessed with finding myself now and not having to prove anything to anybody other than myself, and realizing that that is enough. Giving your best is enough, and sometimes we lose track of that. So for anybody out there, you're enough, man.
Be fucking fearless. Let the fear of regret fuel you to take action. Today. Now.
That's the fear. The fear is never reaching your potential.
Fear is my friend. I love fear. Fear allows me to reach my highest potential.
If you're not getting rid of fear, then use fear. Use fear or it uses you. It's that simple.
Be fucking fearless.
The fear of failing is an illusion. Fear is an illusion, but we have to have desire. We have to have something that pushes us. Fear pushes us.
Your fear is always about what's going to happen next. That means your fear is always about that which does not exist.
And then one day you're an old man and you look back and go, God, I could have been great. I could have been great.
The biggest advice I could give you right now, the biggest advice that anybody could give you, 85 to 90% of life is just showing up. Show up. If you show up, there's a chance something could happen.
I can't go to the gym. Why? Oh, because it's far away and my leg hurts and I don't have a membership. Once you run out of excuses, what's left? Action. You're going to end up in the gym. Action remains when you run out of excuses. I've said for a very long time, I don't use excuses. I talk in binaries. I succeeded or I failed. I didn't say I failed because... No, I failed. I should have done better. But the average young man today, women expect him to be a millionaire at 20. Nobody gives a shit about his opinion at all. He can kill himself, nobody cares. He isn't born with any innate value because he's not beautiful like a woman is. So he has to build himself from the ground up. He has no teachers in any way. No one really to teach him. There's people like us on the internet, fine, but everyone around him is going to convince him that we're bad people. Everything he's being told in regards to his natural feelings, his natural instincts and inclinations, he's being told makes him a bad person, makes him toxic for feeling like a man in any way. It's very hard to be a young man today, and they feel disenfranchised with the system. They start listening to me and they go, I feel better if I do this. I feel better if I go to the gym. I feel better if I start to take responsibility and take accountability. I feel better if I'm not afraid of pain anymore. I feel better if I'm not afraid of suffering. I feel better if I understand that I'm supposed to suffer, that that's what's going to make me the best person that I could possibly be. Hey, what about burnout? What? Do you want to be rich or not? Burnout. Do you want to be rich or not? You work and you sleep. Do you want money? Oh, but I might burn out. Burn out. You're not some fucking Formula One car. Your brain ain't some supercomputer. You're a geek. You either want to work and get shit done or you don't. I don't believe in burnout. What I believe in is reality. I believe in cause and effect. I live in a binary world. I believe in done or not done. I don't believe in burnout. I believe in finished or not finished. I'm filming now late at night because it needs to be finished. It needs to be done. Until it is done, it is not done. There's no such thing as burnout. There's such thing as not doing stuff. Because you're a little coward. Fucking burnout.
With absolute certainty, nothing compares to exercise. Nothing compares to having a high VO2 max, high muscle mass, and high muscle strength. They are more beneficial for you than any bad thing you can think of is bad for you.
Why is the muscle mass piece so important? And the strength piece, why is that causing me to stay alive?
Muscles are where you dispose of glucose. So glucose regulation is one of the most important metabolic functions of the body. Our ability to metabolize glucose and regulate glucose levels is central to our existence on this planet. And when we get it just a little bit wrong, we go to hell in a handbasket. That's what type 2 diabetes is. Type 2 diabetes, raging type 2 diabetes, only means you have an extra 5 grams of blood sugar, 1 teaspoon in your circulation. That's it. The difference between you and someone with type 2 diabetes so bad that they're going to get their digits amputated is an extra 1 teaspoon of glucose in the bloodstream. That's how critical it is that we regulate our blood sugar. And the most important part of blood sugar regulation is having muscles that are big enough to put the glucose into and that are insulin sensitive enough to respond to the signal of insulin.
There is nobody on the entire planet of all 9 billion people who are breathing who is ever trying to achieve anything significant to give you credit for, ever. Not one. If you're trying, there's one guy trying to pull it off for you. If you're not trying, you're down to 0. What's the chance of you making it with 0 people trying to pull it off for you ever?
For me, coming from where I come from, I've always had a discipline and a work ethic that I've had at a young age that I just apply it to everything. Rarely go out reading and trying to reverse engineer how to be successful. Like, how do I start my own production company? How do I do this? How do I do that? And I always felt if other cats was out partying and I was home studying, I would have an edge. If cats was being hung over the night before, I would have an edge if I wasn't. I'll save the best for last. I'm a delayed gratification. I'm that type of person. So like, I'm literally like, all right, I will party later. I work hard now, so the second half of my life, I can do whatever I want. That's been my mentality. It's like, I'm not going to trick off my early years for partying and then worry about struggling, how I'm going to make it, how I'm going to take care of my family, how I'm going to take care of everybody else. That's not going to be me. I'm going to grind it out now. I'm going to set up the foundation so I can enjoy myself later. That's always been my mentality. That works for me. And I've been blessed to be around cats who gave me the game and wisdom and just told me like it is. And I was just open enough to listen.